Hello, my Teaserking family. I just tried this for 5 minutes and it kept circling instead of giving me a live feed. So I am here. I am doing my baseball picks, and then I will talk gold and silver, what's going on in the economy. So let's go to baseball. And we will walk through the game like we do in football. And pitching and everything else. Okay. First game, Pirates and the Cubs. Quantina pitching for Pitt, 0-1 with a 3.86. Smiley for the Cubs, used to be in the Tigers, 1-0 with a 0 ERA. So let's look at it now, adding the flavor that I did. So if we look at the Cubs, they got a weak pitching staff, weak ERA. So that means they won't hold the lead much, and they're an over team. So they can hit, but they play high scoring games. They don't have good pitching. And we look at the Pirates, and the Pirates have a great pitching staff, and they're an under team, so they don't defense. So this is like a Georgia, right? The good defensive team, and they're playing the good offensive team in the Cubs with weak pitching. So I am taking Pitt under 7.5, figuring shut down Pitt, and Pitt's got a pretty decent. They don't score a lot, so this should be a low scoring game. Over under 7.5. I don't love it, because I'm getting a mixed over-under and a mixed, a weak bullpen against a strong one. But if Smiley goes 7-8 innings, and it's weird, I'm looking at games last night, and I'm seeing some guys go 8 innings, and some guys go 5 innings. So, really don't know what to make of it. But here's where we're going. Next game, St. Louis against Cincinnati. Cincinnati, I have as a Z. Where are they? I have them as a Z. Team, Z pitching, and Z bat means they don't hit. They're worse than an under. They don't do a whole lot. St. Louis has Matz going 7.27 ERA against Green for Cincinnati with a 4.35 ERA. Has all the makings of an over. I look at St. Louis. I look at an A team. They're an A team, and they have great pitching. When I look at Cincinnati, they're a Z team, as I said. So going with the ERAs, I'm taking this game over. So even though St. Louis is an A, because their pitcher is terrible, Motts has a 7 ERA. I can't really bet St. Louis. Cincinnati's pitcher is terrible. They're a terrible, terrible bullpen. So I think with the ERAs, and it's obviously not the aces, this is an over game. I would normally go with St. Louis, the A against the Z, but their pitcher's so bad, and you have to play pitcher like quarterback. So a lousy pitcher gives up a lot of runs. Now, it's early in the year, so what we're doing is we'll take this game over and it'll go under, and you're going, what happened? And then the 7.27 ERA quickly sinks to a 4 because this is what happened. So you got to be careful in the early ERAs. Now, after about a month, and we've got, the guy's pitched, let's say he's pitched 5 times, that's 35, 40 innings. Now his ERA is not going to move as much. So then a 7.27 is really a 7.27, or in July, a 7.27 is really a 7.27. Now it might not be. All right, so we're taking St. Louis over. The Yankees in Cleveland. I got Morgan for Cleveland, a 4.5 ERA against Talon, 3.72 ERA. So do I go over or under? And here's where I go. And I go, the Yankees are an under team with A pitching. So they will keep the game low. And then Cleveland, I'm out of whack here with this. Cleveland I have as an A team and a B pitching staff. So I got good pitching. I got an A team against an under with Talon. So I'm gonna go under 8.5. Because the number is 8.5, I'm taking it under. If it was 7, I'd go over. Should be a close game. Based on these pictures, I can't say it's going to be a 1-0 game. I can't say it's going to be a 5-4 game. This is very hard, but I can't take a team. So I'm going to go over because of the ERA. So again, or no, I'm actually going to go under because the Yankees are an under team. And again, they played in Detroit in cold weather, so they weren't going to score a lot. So again, it could be in April. It's a little bit colder. They don't hit as well. So there's so many factors in baseball. But that would be my pick is the Yankees under. Next game. Frisco and Washington, there is no pitching, so I'm going to have to ignore it for now. When the pitchers come up, we'll figure it out. Milwaukee, Philly. Milwaukee has an 11.57 ERA. Philly's got a 5.87 ERA. So I got two pig pitchers. Philly is an over team anyway, so let's look at the Philly is an over with weak pitching. Milwaukee is Milwaukee's an under team. So I got an under team against an over team with weak pitching. And the over under is 8. So I'm Philly over because they're such a bad team. And the Milwaukee pitchers got 11.57 ERA. Excuse me. And the Philly pitcher's got a 5.8, but the over-under is 8. So I'm going to go Philly over 8 just because they got such a weak bullpen. Milwaukee's under, but against Philly, they'll score more. So that's how you got to look at it. It's like if you're playing Georgia's defense, even though you're a high-scoring team, you're not going to score a lot. Look at Alabama, but against weaker teams, you score a lot. So against weaker teams, you're an over, but against a weak team, you do better. Colorado, Detroit. Colorado 1-0 at the 216 for Senzalita, and Detroit has Skubal 3.72. So you got two pretty low ERAs. If we look at Detroit's an under team. The pitching, they got some good relievers, some not so good, and the Skubal's 3.72. Colorado at the 216. In Colorado, I have as an over team in Colorado, but this is in Detroit, and it's about 55 here right now, 60 degrees, so it's cool here. So you don't have Colorado at home in a pitcher's ballpark in Detroit. The over-under I got is 7.5. I like the game under. I just don't think Detroit scores, and they're an under team, and Colorado – in Colorado, it's an over team, but not out and not in Detroit. This is a big ballpark here. So I do like this game under 7.5. Tampa Bay, Boston. Again, we look at the pitching, and this is a whale of a pitcher's duel. Waka from St. Louis is 0-0 with a .96 ERA against Corey Kluber from Cleveland, 0-0 with a 1.86 ERA. And the over-under somehow is 8. And if I look at Boston, they're an over team. I don't think against Waka they're going to be an over, or against Kluber. And Tampa Bay is an over team. So you got two over teams, but here's where the pitching makes the difference. With these two pitchers, you ain't getting anything. Over under of 8. I am going under with this game. Clearly, here's where you really get to it is the pitching. Good luck hitting these guys. Waka's ERA is .96. I don't see Tampa Bay really jumping on him, and Kluber is a 1.86, and the game's in Tampa. So want to eventually realize is where the game's at, right? In Colorado versus not in Colorado, how are their stats? Here in Tampa, so which ballparks are over ballparks like Colorado and LA Dodgers, maybe even California Angels, and then which ballparks like Detroit ballparks. And now normally the line's going to be adjusted, right? Detroit 7.5. The game's in Colorado is probably at 10.5. So it kind of is there, but that's what we're looking at. So this game is purely the aces are going against each other. You bet the game under, no questions. And if these aren't the aces, I got to see what the aces look like. Miami, Atlanta. Miami, Rogers, 0-2 with a 12 ERA against Kyler Wright, 1-0 against a 164. I don't need any homework here. This is a perfect 1-5. Atlanta's got the 1. They're ace 1-0 with a 1.64. Going against the pitcher, giving up 12. Even if it's not real, he's still giving up 9 or 10. Over, under of 8, I don't care. I like Atlanta here. Straight up, take them to win. If we look at Atlanta, they are an over team, so you know they can score. And if we look at Miami, they are an under team. So Miami, this game's probably going to be 6-0 Atlanta, would be my guess. They're just going to shut them out. The White Sox, the Bears against the Vikings, but we'll do White Sox against the Twins because there's 2 Chicago teams. Chicago, Kopech, 0-0 with 1 ERA against over 1-1 with a 3.27 ERA. So we're looking at what looks like a pretty low scoring game, but let's dive into it. Over under a 7.5. I have taken Minnesota under 7.5. Now, if we look at the White Sox, they are an under team. I'm not seeing their pitching one way or the other. And if we look at the Vikings, teams, they're going against 2 pretty good pitchers. Kopech, fine. Ober's 3.27, but it's still okay. Over under 7.5. This is the lock of the day. Take Minnesota under. Take the Vikings. They're usually an under team. Good defense in this one. Next game's Toronto at Houston. Stripling 0-0 with a 3.0 against Verlander. 1-1 with a 0.69. And I guarantee you this ERA is accurate. This is one of those games. So if we look at Toronto, they're an over team. And if we look at Houston, they're an under team. This game has the makings of a 1-0 game. Verlander's going to shut them out. I don't care. Toronto might be an over team, but not in this game, not against Verlander. And I look for Verlander to go at least 7 innings, maybe 8. And Toronto and Houston is not hitting. And Stripling 0-0 with a 3.0 looks good enough to keep them down. This is a definite. I'm playing Houston in the game because of Verlander. Thought about the under, probably a good play. Under's 8.5, so definitely you can play them both. So a Houston and an under. Love Houston with Verlander. Baltimore and California. Zimmerman 0-0 with a 0 ERA. Detmers 0-0 with an 8.59 ERA. Pretty simple right off the bat. Got to go with Baltimore. You got a pitcher that has not allowed a run. I'm hoping he's pitched more than 1 inning against Detmers, who's 8.59 ERA. So that just tells you right off the bat. Baltimore I have as a under team and a Z team. So they don't score a lot, and their pitching's usually bad, but here's Zimmerman now. So we'll see what it is against California, who's an over team. So this, what should be a California play, here's where you get off of it, provided Zimmerman's pitched a little bit, right? I'm assuming he's pitched 10, 12 innings. He's got 0 ERA. Okay. Now, if he's not, if he's pitched 1 inning with a 0 ERA, that's a totally different story. Then I like California. But at this point, then I'd probably play it over. But at this point, anytime a pitcher's got a 0 ERA, even though he's only, Baltimore's played 13 games. So you went through the staff, like this is the 3rd time this guy should be pitching. So if he's pitched the other 2 and he's got a 0 ERA, he's got then he's a pretty good pitcher. And that's, again, like you get into the new year and you've got to, I can keep with the Verlander stats because I've seen him do it. And Corey Kluber and Watka, I can keep with their stat. I know them. I don't know this Bruce Zimmerman. He might be Verlander and he might not be Verlander, but you don't know. And that's what you're looking for. So we're taking Baltimore. Oakland and Texas. Otto never pitched. He's got no ERA. So this is where they're telling you when the guy's 0-0 with a 0 ERA, he has pitched. When the guy has nothing and it doesn't say anything ERA, this is a new guy going against Euler. And for some reason, this over-under is 7.5. Wow. So let's look at the teams. Oakland I have as an over team. They score a lot. Texas I have as an over team. So I have this game with a pitcher of 1350 and a pitcher that's never pitched before as an over 7.5 all day long. This game should get into double digits. I don't see Oiler doing anything. I know the Texas should score. They're an over team, and then Oakland should score. So definitely like this game over. How am I coming up with over and unders? Well, I'm looking at the standings and I'm looking at runs scored. I prefer runs scored per game as opposed to runs scored, but I couldn't get those stats yet. Maybe I can get them this weekend. I went into where I normally get my football stats, and it wasn't there yet. So anyway, so if they score 60 runs and they give up 20, I'm calling them an A team. And if they score 20 and they give up 60, I'm calling them a Z team. So it's as simple as that. Like New York, the Yankees scored 30 and gave up 30. I called them an under. And if they score 60 and give up 60, I'm calling them an over team. So that's how I'm getting it. You can see they're scoring a lot of runs and giving up a lot of runs. So it should be a high scoring game, except for when you get the Verlanders and the Scherzers and the ace pitchers. Then the pitcher can always shut down the hitter. Hitters will never hit against a good pitcher. A Nolan Ryan, a Sandy Koufax, you're not hitting them. Bob Gibson, you're not going to hit them. No matter, you could have the greatest lineup in the world. He's getting a hit. So the pitcher's the quarterback here. You got a great pitcher. Now the difference in baseball, in football, Tom Brady plays every game. And he plays every down. They don't, oh, wait, Tom, you threw 30 passes. We got to pull you. There's a limit on how many passes you can throw. That's not what happens. So in baseball, they go 100, maybe 110, and then they are pulled and they pitch every 5 days. So now with this pitcher, they're an under. With this pitcher, they're an over. So when a guy like for Oakland, Oiler gives up 1350, he's obviously their fifth pitcher. And it's going to be a high-scoring game. But when they bring out Catfish Hunter with a 1.5 ERA, he's their ace. Now I got to play the game under. So it depends on the pitcher and his ERA, which way you're going with the game. So that's why I like this game over. Kansas City, Seattle. Brad Keller for KC. 0-1 with a 1.38 ERA. Seattle flexing 0-2 with a 5.23 ERA. Superficially, right off the bat, looking at ERAs, I like Kansas City. They're on the road. Let's look at KC and Seattle. Seattle, I have good pitching and an under. And KC, I have also as an under with weak hitting. So it's a beautiful under play. So I like Kansas City under 7.5. A lot of 7.5s and 8s. I assume that's from the weather. So Kansas City under looks good because they can't hit. They got a good pitcher, 1.38. Seattle is also an under team, and it has good pitching, and so they can probably hit average. So I would say this is a 3-1 game or 2-1, or it should be a low-scoring game. So you got good pitching and no hitting. The Dodgers and the Chargers. Urias for the Dodgers, 0-1 with a 3.86. And Dan Fouts going for San Diego, 0-1 with a 4.5 ERA, Nick Martinez. So you got two weak pitchers, really. You know, when I see ERAs around 4, that's pretty much going to go over. The over-under is 8 on the game. I took LA over 8. Well, let's get into it. San Diego, they're both A's and they're both A bullpens. So this is a dead even game. Why am I going over if they're that? Because they both can hit and they both have good bullpens, but the starters are weak. These are not their aces. Both 3.86 and 4.5. So they're pretty high ERAs, which leads me to think they'll be able to score. And being A teams, they can hit. And they have good bullpens, but, you know, the bullpens will give up a few. I don't need a lot of runs here. 8 is not a lot. So I'm looking at that. So I am going over with LA. I can't really pick a team because the teams are both A teams, and the game's in San Diego. So it's a hard one to call. I don't want to bet against an A team in the Dodgers, so I'm going to go over. And the last game are the New York Mets, and the Arizona Diamondbacks. You got Peterson going for the Mets, a 0-0 with a 0 ERA against Gallen. For Arizona, 0-0 with a 0 ERA. Now, I don't concern myself with the 0-0 in the front, the wins and losses, because it's so screwed up right now. The guy pitches 5-6 innings. What I do like is the ERAs are 0. You got an over-under. Can somebody explain why the over-under is 8.5 on this game when both pitchers have 0 ERAs? Let's look at the Mets. The Mets are an A team with an A pitching staff, so that means they score. They don't give up a lot, so it's a very good team here going against Arizona. I got to put this proper. Now, I have Arizona as a Z team with Z batting, so Arizona is going to get shut out. They don't hit. Question is how much is the Mets going to score? They are a good hitting team because they're an A, and they get good pitching. So I look for the Mets to shut them out and then keep the game low because Arizona does have a 0 ERA, so I don't think the Mets are going to score that much. So I like the Mets straight up with they're an A team, Arizona's a Z, and then I like the under because it's 8.5 with 2 pitchers in the zeros and a good bullpen by the Mets. So I don't think Arizona's going to score. So I see like a 4-0 Met win, maybe a 4-1. I don't think the Mets will score much on this Zach Gallen 0-0 ERA. So that's today's pick. Was Minnesota take the Vikings under 7.5. Now let's review yesterday's games. And I'm doing this every day. And you can see the videos. Although I don't think I did a video yesterday. I did one the day before. So yesterday I had Cleveland under 8, loser. I had the Yankees, loser. I had the Mets, winner. KC under 8.5, winner. Oakland, winner. Arizona over 9, loser. St. Louis under was my lock, winner, under 7.5. Pitt over 8.5, loser. Seattle over 8, winner. The games I tend to lose are the over-unders where there was one game when both pitchers were like 6 ERA and it went to I think the Pitt game, and it went to 7 and it didn't go over. Pitt over 8.5. The pitchers were like 6 ERAs apiece, and yet they got to 7 and that was it. And they got to 7 early, and then there's no late scoring. So what you have is the starter going what's been happening is the starter comes in with a 10 ERA, but he only pitches 2 innings. And then here comes 18 guys out of the bullpen. And that's why I'm trying to rank the overall pitching. So like San Francisco's an A, San Diego's an A, St. Louis is an A, Pitt, because their ERA's low. They don't give up a lot of runs. Because I got to look at the whole team because it's not just the ace that. So that my computer is frozen, I think. I hope I'm still with you. I think there's internet problems here. It took a while to go live, and now I think I've dropped. But I'm looking on the Yahoo Sports page, so I'm not seeing what's going on in my YouTube. Hello. Okay, I think I'm back. Hello, close the app. So that's what you're looking at, and that's what you got to adjust to is the team ERA, and you got to adjust to the starter only going 2 or 3 innings, and they quickly are changing, and they're put in 7 pitchers. And then 5 of them have a good ERA, and then there's one with a 10 ERA. And I'm like, okay, what do I do with it? So that's why I'm looking at the whole team total and just saying, okay, this team, doesn't do much. And you know what a system UI isn't responding error is? I close the app, and sometimes it closes right away, and sometimes it thinks. And I'm trying to get back to you. Oh, there we go. Okay. Oh, okay, good. All right. I have some viewers. Please ask questions if you got. And that's today's picks. So again, why do I lose? It's usually the over under, and it's usually because of the uh, pitchers fooling me because they haven't pitched a lot of innings yet. So a guy will have a 10 ERA, then he shuts him out. Now he's down to 4. Oh, okay. Well, that's a different look. So um, that's what I'm looking at. Is that the 4? You don't have enough innings in to get enough detail, but it's working pretty well. I've had every day's been a winning day as far as now I'm just picking every game, and I'll give you the lock. Like today, the Vikings under 7.5. Both teams are low scoring teams, so I'll give you that. Excuse me. So both teams are low scoring, so that's when I lock it. But it's early. That's why I'm saying probably another couple of weeks, and then they'll have more stats. The pitchers, really, what I'm looking for, the pitchers to get enough games and enough innings in to. It's like a hitter. Hitter can start off hot, and he's hitting 350, and then he goes 5 games he doesn't hit. Now he's hitting 270. Okay, now we got a better feel of the batters are really a 270 hitter. Same thing with pitchers. They can start out giving a lot of runs because it's cold out and it heats up. Now, after 60 innings pitch and the guy's ERA is 2.5, so now it's not going to really fluctuate much, right? And if he's a 7 ERA, it's going to, after so many innings, now he is a 7 ERA, and that's who we're looking to bet against, or overs and unders. So that's baseball. Football, I will try to get onto my page and I can share quarterbacks with you if it'll let me. I know the internet is freaking murder here. And I hate this Google spreadsheet because they go out to the cloud, which I don't want. And it takes forever. Okay, so let's go through quarterbacks. All right. So in the Big 12, I don't like anybody. Well, Caleb Williams transferred to USC to be with his coach. Maybe the coach will go to the pros so he can play in the pros. Let's see. Are you kidding? Texas, Casey Thompson is not ready. Baylor, I did like Bohannon. And Iowa State, I like Brock Purdy, but they're not ready. I mean, they're okay. I don't see any big passing out of the Big 12. The best is probably Williams, which is phony, and then Brock Purdy threw for 264 a game. He's not bad, but he's not great. He'd be a decent backup, but nothing special. The best quarterback, I think, out there is Bailey Zapke out of Western Kentucky. Throws for 434, had like 50 touchdowns and 5 picks. And when you saw him in the bowl game, I remember some of my customers going, "Who's that guy?" And we bet Western Kentucky. I think we bet it over. It was over at halftime because Zapke just was unbelievable. He was ripping the ball in there. I mean, this guy looked like Dan Marino, man. He was just firing it in. He would be my quarterback if he's draft eligible, which I don't know. I do like Frank Harris out of UTSI, Texas San Antonio. Very good. He's a winner. That's about it in the Conference USA. In the SEC, Bryce Young, of course, isn't available. Stetson Bennett did very well, but I don't know if he's going in the draft. Hendon Hooker from Tennessee was good, but again, I don't know. Matt Corral, they're high on him. He's okay, but I think it's a system thing. Lewis from Kentucky, no. Jones, no. KJ Jefferson, Arkansas, I do like him. He is a very mobile quarterback, but he's a good thrower. He's a much better thrower for one of those run pass type of quarterbacks, and he was very much. I do like him. Plus, he won our lock on over Penn State on New Year's Day, so I really like the guy. That's why I bet him. He looks very good. I'd take him over this guy from Liberty all day long. I mean, he's so much better. Um, if you're looking for that style, but that style doesn't really work. But I think he's a little bit more Russell Wilson than Lamar Jackson, to tell you the truth. Um, Will Rogers from Mississippi State's all system. It's the Washington State system. You can't trust it. It never works in the pros. Bo Nix, I thought he'd do better, but he got injured. And that's about it. Then let's get to the independents. Now, if you're going to draft Malik Willis, I would draft Christian Anderson, the quarterback from Army, over Malik Willis. I think he's a better player. He's a winner. He's a great runner, and he's pretty damn accurate. I think he's a lot better than Willis, because Willis is terrible. Willis, I don't get the point. Oh, he's a dual quarterback. Well, take the Army quarterback. He's a better passer, and we know he's a better runner. So, and he's a winner. So I don't get Willis. Didn't throw enough touchdowns to interceptions to get me going. So I mean, they're just trying to, get interest. But this guy's terrible. Willis, whoever drafts him, wasted a draft pick. Now, my man from the Sun Belt, Coastal Carolina, Grayson McCall, 266, and he threw for 40 some touchdowns and less than 10 interceptions. This is the man, not Malik Willis. This is the guy, but I don't know if he's a senior. I think he might be. I know been there a couple of years. This is the guy. Chase Bryce out of Clemson, went to App State. It's okay. Another guy, like much better than Malik Willis, is Levi Lewis out of Louisiana Lafayette. You want to get a quarterback like that, this is the guy. This guy's outstanding. He's a winner. They won some big games. They beat App State, and he's a very good quarterback. Now, again, he's a little small, but he's more like Russell Wilson also. He can throw the ball accurately, and he can scramble around and run when he needs to, but he's not necessarily a running quarterback, but he's a good quarterback. Lane Hatcher from Arkansas State they threw for 314. I'm not jumping on him, but he's pretty good. I think that's about it. And then you're running into styles, if a team's more of a running team, like Georgia Southern, you can't look at their quarterback. They run the wishbone like Army and Navy. The MAC, I don't know any of these guys. It was a very bad year for that. The best was Brett Gabbert, probably Blaine Gabbert's brother. But he's not very good. There's no Ben Roethlisberger hiding in the MAC this year. I don't know. I wouldn't comment on the MAC. They're very weak. Now we get to the Mountain West. 3 good quarterbacks. Carson Strong, Nevada, but he sat out the bowl game, so I don't like him. Jake Haynard out of Fresno State. I love this guy. He's a winner. Threw for 327 a game. He's a good passer, and when they were down to UCLA, he came back and won, and that is what I'm looking for. Utah State, Logan Bonner came from Arkansas State, threw for 300 a game. Not a bad quarterback, not a starter, but he's good. Boise, Hank Bachmeier, he's okay. Let's see. Colorado State. And the rest don't excite me. I thought Nick Starkel would do more. He was from Mississippi State on San Jose State. Didn't really show up the way I thought he would, but he was pretty good. The Pac-12. Okay, Dorian, Thompson, Robinson, UCLA. Good one. Cameron Rising, outstanding at Utah, but I don't know if he's in the draft. He came off the bench and lit it up like Dick Van Dyke did on Miami. And that's why I locked the over in the Rose Bowl between him and Ohio State. I knew there was going to be a ton of points, and there was. This guy's very good, Cameron Rising. Keep your eye on him. Chase Nolan at Oregon State. We won a lot of money betting them. Once he didn't start. These coaches, man, they're the best quarterbacks on the bench. There's an injury, bring him in. Guy's a superstar. And you're like, well, why didn't he play? Slovis, I like at USC because he went to the whatchamacallit camp of Kurt Warner, so I like him, and he's not bad. He got injured. Chase Garber's not a chance. Dylan Morris, not a chance. Washington, Colorado, not a chance. And Will Plummer, no. So those are really your two best. And then Slovis is okay, but I know he's not in the draft yet. And the AAC, good division. Desmond Ritter is okay. People don't like him because guess what? He had trouble against Alabama. Oh my God, that's so shocking. Somebody has a trouble against Alabama. What gets me is that's the game people judge him on. Well, he didn't do anything against Alabama. Well, who does? And you can't blame him the way their offense is, but I can blame him for the Tulsa game and the Temple game when they had trouble scoring. So I don't see him as a stud quarterback. Tanner Mordecai, I do, SMU, but I don't think he's in the draft. He's very good. Let's see. I'll tell you, Holton Ahlers from East Carolina was lighting it up. They were scoring a ton of points near the end, not the beginning. And let's see. And Clayton Tune on Houston's good, but I don't think he's in the draft yet. So I would say SMU. UCF's Mikey Kane was okay, but I like the other guy, Gabriel, I thought was better. And then he got hurt. And of course, Mackenzie Milton, the stud of all, was not able to come back from the knee injury at Florida State. He just didn't look right. He was clearly out of sorts and in pain. ACC, Wake Forest, love Sam Hartman. Kenny Pickett, I like him, but he sat out the ball, and therefore he's not passionate about football. I can't draft him. Sam Howell, overrated, is not very good. Brennan Armstrong at Virginia, yes, they lit it up, 35 points a game, threw for 400 yards a game. He's okay. Miami, there's my man, Tyler Van Dyke. They were probably at about a 20 points when King got injured. Here comes Van Dyke. They end up at 34 points a game. And the bookies still had the over-unders in the 50s. They scored 34. They give up 28. That's a 62. And he's putting up 40 by himself, and the over-unders maybe 52. I mean, it was unbelievable. Between them and Georgia, I was like, what are these guys doing making the numbers? They're not adjusting for Van Dyke. They're leaving King's numbers in. So Miami, definitely great. I love Van Dyke. I would draft him, no problem in the first round. And then NC State's Devin Leary, 33 a game, threw for 288. Good quarterback. Definitely not a great quarterback, but he's better than Sam Darnold and Malik Willis and Jalen Hurts and Trevor Lawrence. I mean, come on, this guy's very good. Let's see what else. Florida State. No, I don't love Travis, and he's young. Clemson's quarterback sucked. Ulagali and VTech. See, then it really drops off the table. So Hartman, Armstrong, Van Dyke, Leary are very strong. Pickett, I can't take him. He'll be afraid. He doesn't want to get hurt. They're going to play Dallas in a game, and Parsons is going to be playing, and he's, I can't play. I got to get ready for the draft. I mean, it's insane. Okay, the Big Ten, my conference. Ohio State, Stroud, not ready. McNamara from Michigan, he's in the draft. Thorne, very good. Martinez, terrible. O'Connell for Purdue's getting better. Tagliabue Jr., he's too many interceptions. Can't handle big games against good defensive. Clifford, okay. Tanner Morgan, Minnesota, I like. Graham Mertz, Wisconsin sucks. Petras, Iowa, okay. Verdell, Peters for Illinois. That tells you everything you need to know. Ryan Olinsky from Northwestern, and they scored 16 a game. Probably not. Now, he is the new quarterback. He wasn't the starter. So that's your look at that. let's go into how my gold and silver's doing today. Gold. So Howard, why, if it's price fixed, are we looking at it? It's a good question. If we fix that, the Chinese are trying to buy it. Let's see, what are we at? We are at, as of today, as of now, gold 1929, down $21. The Chinese are really hankering to buy, and the Russians, and silver's 24.18. My advice: run out and buy as much gold as you can possibly afford at this cheap price before it goes to the moon. Well, Howard, you said it's going to go up. Why, it goes down? Howard also said that it's price fixed. This is going down because China wants it to go down, so they want to buy. So let's say you want to buy this shirt. It's a polo shirt. You go call JP Morgan and you say, lower the price on my shirts to $25. I want 10 of them. Okay, now you can raise it back to $100 for a shirt. That's what you're doing. China, JP Morgan's probably run by the Chinese if I imagine like everything else. So what'll happen is China wants to buy they want gold cheap so they can buy it cheaper. Because if you notice, even if you go into different currencies, it's all really fed by the conversion rate of the US dollar to the Chinese yuan or the ruble or whatever currency. So it keeps the balance. So in this case, there's a lot of hungry buyers out there at 1929. Now, what I'm trying to tell people, I was talking to somebody and they own like ETFs, or that it's in their IRAs. And I said, is it physical or is it paper? Oh, it's paper. Oh, you don't own anything. This is the mistake in the scam that's going on. If you have an IRA and you are buying ETFs or anything, and you do not have physical gold, where you actually have an ounce of gold in your possession, you don't have anything. So do not get scammed into thinking, well, I got an IRA and it's in gold and therefore I have gold. Only if it's physical, only if you hold the coin do you have it. And if you don't own the coin, you don't have it. Now, I don't know what's going on, but okay, I can understand why gold and silver are down because the Chinese and the Russians want to buy it. Bitcoin's down. Bitcoin's down $500 to 36,915. So for all you Bitcoin lovers who think it's gold, why is that getting tanked? Why is it down $500? That's safe haven. When everybody's buying dollars because of why? So this is where it's all fixed, and this is where you need to listen to me and trust that my master's in it, and trust when I give a video on inflation and economics and the trade cycle and all that stuff, that is what's happening. They don't want you to know it because the panic when there's inflation is hyperinflation. That's what hyperinflation is. The prices go through the roof and people panic and keep running after them. So that's what you have. That's what hyperinflation is. It's hyper. It's that. And so they don't want that. So they keep painting the picture, everything's fine, or whatever picture they're painting today. I'll go watch something. But to get gold at this price is you're buying at least a $50,000 an ounce for 1930. Okay. And if you don't believe me, look at the Jerry Rice rookie card. It's 110,000 for PSA 10 Jerry Rice card. How the hell can that card be worth 110,000 and gold be worth 2,000? 1930. It doesn't make any sense. It's impossible because the Rice card's at market and the gold card's not. And I just did a video a couple days ago on the market. So there's no way the real supply demand market for gold is 1930. That's impossible. Nobody's selling it. Everybody's buying it. But what it does is the stocks go off of this also. So now it's a steal. I bought Newmont Mining. Now I've been staying out of the market waiting for the crash, but Newmont Mining lost 7 points yesterday, and I bought it on the uptick. So it was going down. I'm watching, down $5. I'm ready to buy. Down $6. I'm ready to buy. Down $7. I waited for the algorithm to turn around. What does that mean, Howard? What are you talking about? Well, it's all an algorithm. It's just the computer telling it when to buy and sell. So I wait. I'm clicking on Newmont, clicking, it's dropping, then it kind of stops and then it starts going up. So at about 62.35, it goes to 62.36, 62.38. Now I give it a few ticks to keep it. Are we really going up, or is it like a fake double where then it's going to drop? When that happened a little earlier, 62 30 72.40, 72.45. Okay, thank you very much. It hit 72.50. I buy my normal bought, and no, I think it was 71 or 72, 73. Maybe it was 73, and it ended up at 74. So I 90 cents yesterday on my shares, waiting for the algorithm to go up. Now it's down because gold's down 20. You'll see gold go back. Too much demand for it. And again, this is again Jace down. That's what this is. That's all this is. This is not people selling like a stock going bad. This is the price being manipulated down so the Chinese and the Russians can buy. The Chinese now own like 25,000 tons of gold. Well, it's a bad investment, Howard. Oh, that's why the Chinese have 25,000 tons of it. That's why the Russians now have probably 14,000 tons of it. Yeah, it's a bad investment. That's why they're buying it. So keep that in mind. Keep in mind it's manipulated. That's why it drops. And it's going up now. It's up to 1932. I think I came on, it was 1929. So it's now going up. Silver's 24.19 is a joke. Silver is a $200-300 an ounce coin easy, and you can buy it for 24 plus premium. Why is there premium? Because the dealers know that it's undervalued. It's kind of confusing because if the dealers really know it's undervalued, why are they putting a premium out? Why are they selling it? Oh, they need to make money and pay rent. Well, then why aren't they selling it at 24.18? Why did they put a premium on it? So it's so fake because if they know it's low, then why would you sell it at all? And if you are selling it, if you can buy it for 24.19 and they're probably paying under, then they should sell it for 24.19 because that's what it's selling for. Why are you putting a premium out on it? Well, I got to put. If you're really going to put a premium, it should be $224 is what you should be selling it for. But the dealers aren't smart enough to do that. If they all would do that, then that would force the price up, and then that's what you want to buy silver. It's $224. They're not that intelligent. They're just trying to, they're like the silver miners. They're just trying to turn it over. And all I know is if I had a store and I'm getting silver for 23, that thing's never hitting the light of day till it's at 300. That's really what you're looking at. So again, look at the stocks, watch the algorithms. It'll drop and then it'll start going up. And if you don't think it's an algorithm, look at every gold stock. Newmont Mining, AEM, WPM, gold. At 10 o'clock, they all do this. At 10:30, they all do that. How can every gold stock do the same pattern? And gold, everything, anything related to gold does this and then jumps up. Sometimes it does this and goes down. So you got to see which way the trend's going. Again, Newmont was at 85, hitting record highs, and you're this close to buying, going, okay, here it goes. And you stop yourself and you go, well, I buy low and I sell high, so I can't buy high, or what I perceive to be high in the 80s. Drops back down, and then I buy yesterday on a $6 down. Now, why gold's down today? It's purely for the buying. So you can't look at this as this is the market. This is not the market. The Coca-Cola stock is the market. So if it's a $75 and it drops to 65 because the chairman's got a cold and they're moving to, South Africa, and there's problems with the Coke, and the stock drops because of bad news, that's the market. This is not, there is no bad news. This is not the market. This is manipulated to be bought by the Chinese and the Russians. That's what this is. And you got to understand when the price drops, it's so they can buy. And you can buy too. So you can take advantage of this, because that really is what's happening. That's advantage of the price dropping. And I'm going to go run to the gold store after and go at 1931. So I'll pay 60 over, I'll pay 1991, and I'll go pick up 2 or 3 ounces. The only problem with gold is it's so expensive. Sometimes I'll buy quarters and halves where it just feels better. I can buy five quarters and or 4 quarters, and it's the same ounce, but I got 4 coins instead of buying ounces. But it's all the same. I wouldn't worry about a quarter. It's easier to sell the quarter than the ounce. It won't matter. As I said, I went to dinner and I used my silver coin to pay for dinner. That's what you're going to use to go to the Kroger's or the grocery store or Target. You're going to use silver, and they will take it. Most places will be very happy to take it. And again, the price of gold and silver would not be in US dollars. It will be in purchasing power. Don't be surprised if you walk into a Mercedes dealer with 1 ounce of gold and you can buy a Mercedes when the shit hits the fan, because I guarantee you, nobody's going to have money to buy a Mercedes. And I'm talking about Bill Gates ain't going to have money to buy a Mercedes unless he's smart enough to move his money into gold, but I doubt he's that smart. He's an IT guy. He's a programmer. They do not understand finance or economics. I know. I work with IT people at several jobs. All they said is, I don't want to know. I don't want to be an accountant. They don't know finance. They certainly don't know gold and silver. And nobody in this country tells anybody to get into gold and silver but yours truly and a few other guys on YouTube that are Austrian economists are saying get into it. Because what will happen, the dollar, as we know, will lose value. Now, why do I repeat? How are we heard it? Oh, my God. Because I want to hammer the point home. What was that movie? I'm going to hammer the... meet Joe Black, appropriate, right? He's hammering the point home, and I loved it. But this is Joe Black, right? This is the currency dying, and I'm Joe Black. I'm hammering the point home that the dollar's dying and silver and gold are your only way out. And so rich people who have $1 million or $50 million. Guess what? 50 million times 0 is 0. It's going to lose value. And those with gold make the rules. China's going to make the rules. Russia's going to be with them, although they'll fight each other. People with real money and gold have the purchasing power to buy what they want, and they will be the ones that survive this mess. All these rich people who own dollars, even if you own stocks or houses, real estate is not the answer. Yeah, okay, so you bought a house for 100 grand, it's worth 250 now, and your rent's pretty cheap. Okay, you'll do fine. You bought it low, but if you buy it now at 200,000-300,000, so you bought the $100,000 house at 300,000, you're not gonna do well because it's not going to hold the value. It's not going to go to 5. That doesn't just keep going up. Everything comes down because gold and silver hasn't gone up yet. It's got nowhere to go. This is the $100,000 house right now, the gold and silver, and it's going up to the 200-300. But it's the only thing that hasn't, and it's because it's the only real money, and China and Russia want it, and they want to keep it low. That's what this is all about. Period. There is huge demand for gold and silver. I guarantee it. But once the shit hits the fan and everybody wants gold and silver, you're not going to be able to get it, and it's going to be very expensive. So the $24 an ounce silver is going to be $250, and good luck finding it. And then you're going to panic, oh, shit, I wish I would have bought it at $24. And what's $24? It's nothing. Maybe $2,000 for it. When it hits 20,000, who cares? When I go walk into the Mercedes dealership and buy a car with an ounce of gold, because gold is going to be worth at least 50,000. And good luck the Mercedes people trying to sell a car. So their prices are going to be slashed because they got all this inventory they can't get rid of. You come in with gold, which is real money, and everybody freaking knows it. You'll be the one smiling, going, I get this ounce for $2,000. I just got a Mercedes, $300 for an ounce of gold. So you basically bought the Mercedes for $1,900. That's what's happening. So you've got to be cognizant of what is going on. That's why I am teaching you. I do not make a penny on this. My making is that you make money on it. That's the goal, is I protect you. And for everybody I save by getting them out of dollars in the gold and silver, that's what I do. Now I got to fight with a lot of people because most people don't understand this, and they argue and they go, "Oh, I wouldn't own gold," and I just laugh, going, "Don't own it." I go, "I don't make anything if you buy it or you don't. I am not one of these silver or gold guys trying to sell you my stuff. I ain't selling you anything. All I sell are football picks, okay." And that, you all know, I do extremely well. And you got all the videos of my the college bowl games and the Super Bowl that I don't need to talk about because you can see them. Um, this is not as like we're not playing the game tonight, and you're going to see the result tomorrow. So you're not going to see gold at 20,000 tomorrow. You might, but probably not. It's probably going to run. But so that's the only difference, is I can predict what's going to happen, but it's not going to happen tomorrow. Where I gave you the lock of the Vikings under 7.5 in baseball tonight, we'll see that tonight, right? You're going to say, yeah, Howard gave a lock 7.5 under, and it was a 3-2 game. He won. He was right. You're going to see that, but you can't see gold. Again, the Chinese and the Russians are still buying it and still want it cheap. I think it's soon coming to an end because I think the demand around the world, people want to get out of the U.S. dollar, but there's no other dollar to go into. They're all printing. They're all there. Nobody's really selling gold. I mean, they're just selling the paper. So, be careful you don't buy paper. So you got an IRA. Now, when you buy Newmont Mining stock, you know you're not buying physical. You know you're buying the stock. That's fine. You know what you're buying there. You're not buying the you're not thinking you're buying the actual coins. When you buy these ETFs or whatever this bullshit in the IRA is, you think you're buying gold, and you're not, unless you hold that coin in your hand, you're not getting it. So they're scamming a lot of people by telling them, well, it's okay, it's in your IRA, it's a gold IRA, you own the gold. You don't own the gold unless it's in your hand. So if they say that and it's through whoever, Chase, say, can I get my gold? Well, it'll be in your safe. Okay, let me drive down there, and where is it? And I'm going to see it, and I'm going to see that there's 50 ounces there because that's what I think I have. Well, you can't do that because it's not real. It's not in your safe. It's generic. And if everybody who owns it wants it, nobody's going to get it. So be very careful. That the better way is to do what I do, which is I go to the store, give me the gold, give me the silver, and it's in my safe, and off I go. And that's the best way to do it. And now I'm doing some research on what to do because I'm starting to get a lot, and then I need to know, well, I don't really want it in my safe. What if I try to move, or what if I go to Europe or South America where the laws are better, or what if I go to Europe? How do I get all my gold over there? I don't know if I'm going to FedEx it or what, or if I'm going to go to Sweden or Switzerland and buy some sort of security box, or go to Caesar's Palace and say, hey, I'd like to get a box. How much do you charge for the month? And put it in there. And then I don't know how safe that is, but that would be where you can only have so much, and then it starts to get like, okay, I better find a better place to store it. And I know you guys asked me that question, and I'm thinking, you get 10, 20 ounces and you get 100 ounces of silver, and you're safe and you're fine. But when you're starting to really get a lot, you get over 100, then you probably want to put it in some storage area, which I have no idea where a safe haven is going to be. But at this point, we won't worry about it. Let's just accumulate it. Let's just buy it. So gold still down 20 at 1931, silver 24.18. Again, we buy it because we want to be out of US dollars before the value goes down. And we would buy other dollars, but no dollars backed by gold. So we can't go into euros, Swiss francs, British pounds. It's all freaking the same. It's all money being printed that has no value, and it will lose value because it's what it has to do. They keep printing. The more you print, the less it's worth. So keep that in mind. Let's see. Do I got any comments? Nobody's commenting? Okay. Feel free to. That's what I'm here for. That's why I do it live, so I can get it. So I know I told my friends in Canada to buy it, and it went down. And I'm like, okay, it's okay. It didn't go down because nobody wants it. It went down for gold because China and Russia want to buy it. Don't worry, it'll go back up. And it's just a matter of time. And you got your money out of Canadian dollars. That's what you are looking at. Keep enough money in the bank to pay your bills and go on a vacation. I'm not saying that, but the more money you can use for gold and silver, the better it is. And now's a great time because it just dropped to 1920. You're probably not going to see it drop much lower. It'll probably be back in 1950 soon, but that's 1925. Supposedly that's where they're buying it at. And it's all algorithms and all that bullshit where it's not even real people anymore. Just computer programmers saying, we're going to sell till 1920, then we're going to start buying. And really, that's all it is. It's insane. So how much of free market is it? Not a lot, but that's what you're trying to do. So anyway, what else can I say? The war, again, with the Russian and the Ukraine, it's costly. The shell, when Putin bombs the Ukraine, it's expensive. The bombs are not cheap. He has to pay for them. Now he's getting money for his oil. Okay, all the wheat and corn and fertilizer that comes from Russia and Ukraine are going up because there's a shortage. That's what everything does except for gold and silver when there's a shortage. Apparently that price doesn't go up, but everything else goes up. Look for people to sell their houses. Interest rates are going up. It's more expensive. People can't afford it. They need money for food and gas. Look for people to sell their stocks. They're going to need money. What do? First thing, they're going to sell their stocks. They're going to sell their house if they have extra. If they just have one house, they're probably not going to sell it unless they have to. Otherwise, they'll hold the one. They'll sell the extra houses. So if people are buying 5 houses, they're going to sell the 4. With high interest rates, they're going to take a loss because people can't afford it. At $400,000 with a 5.5% interest rate, I can't afford it. But at $300,000, I could, and that's what'll happen. The price will drop because they need money. See, the thing is, you need money. You sell, and you sell at anything because you need the money. So that's why you got to keep some money. You don't want everything in gold right now. Well, what if I need? Oh, wait, I got to sell an ounce back because I don't have any money. Well, that's what you got to be careful with. That's why you don't sell everything, but you do want to buy as much gold and silver that you can comfortably afford. And just as you get paid, you pay your bills. Here's what's left. I'll buy more gold and silver. And that's why I'm saying if you have to, silver's $29.30 an ounce. Gold, you can buy a tenth or a quarter. A quarter is $5.50, so it's not $2,000, and that's what happens. So you've got to be smart enough to do that. Anyway, that's today's lesson. So we covered baseball. It's ERA, and then I'm working on the teams. Football draft. There's the best quarterbacks are given. Again, Malik Willis, I don't get that at all. That's a huge mistake. Why do they even think he's good? I mean, what kills me is don't they watch the games and don't they see he's not good? Like Liberty, I mean, they lost a few games to bad teams. Well, that's your quarterback. I mean, your quarterback wins the games and lose. Joe Montana would win the game for Notre Dame, not anybody else. And not Ross Browner and not Jerome Bettis. It was Joe Montana. And he'd lose the game, he'd win the game. In the Cotton Bowl against Houston, they're down 20 points. Who brought him back? It wasn't Jerome Bettis. or Vegas Ferguson, it was Joe Montana throwing that pass with 1 second left in the corner of the end zone to win the game. I know I had both teams and I won both bets with that beautiful pass. I think I had Notre Dame even and I had Houston +2 or something, and it was just beautiful. But that's what you're looking for. Malik Willis doesn't bring that to the table. He lost some very bad games to very bad teams. What's he going to do in the pros? What did Urban Meyer said? He says, "Jesus, like playing Alabama every week." Really, Urban, this is. Did you think you were going to play Northwestern and Central Michigan in the pros? Like, there's bad teams. Like, everybody's a pro, and this is what I'm saying with the injuries. The linebacker comes in as a pro. The backup wide receiver is a pro. The only key is a Barry Sanders or a Brady or the superstar who goes down. That you can't replace. But a regular wide receiver goes down and a new guy comes in. He's trying to prove something. He's probably better than the guy who was out there. You're not getting hurt by injuries, and people overstate injuries too much. But that's what you're looking for, a winner, and Willis is not a winner. What else? Buy your gold stocks. They're down. It's a good time to buy now. Wait for the algorithm to drop, and when the algorithm starts going up, and then you kind of want to get out of it pretty quickly. I'm still afraid the market's going to crash, and I don't know when. And I'm thinking, well, between the war and the inflation, it should, but it's not. So I'm in and out with the gold stock. But after I see Newmont drop $6, so it's an $85 stock I got for 73. Okay, fine, thank you. I'll take it. But I tend to notice it really run, and then it really drops. So you want to be on the. I always kind of, I'm ready to buy as it keeps going up and up, and then I don't, and then it starts dropping, and I go, okay, you got to wait with that one. But I got to be careful with it. So that's what happens with it. So again, these stocks are algorithms. They're not always real. And the gold stocks, again, are being priced at COMEX, not at the whatever value gold and silver really are. And so when they start going to market, these stocks are going to go through the roof, because right now, a Newmont Mining or an AEM or WPM, Wheaton Precious Metals, are priced at COMEX. So gold's 1920, that's the stock price. Well, what happens when gold goes to 20,000? Where's the stock? All of a sudden their inventory is worth a little bit more than it was. So therefore their stock price is going to be worth a little bit more than it was. So the $75 stock price when gold finally goes to 20,000 is going to be, $9,000-$10,000 an ounce. It'll be like Berkshire Hathaway. So it'll really jump when the value of the gold actually gets out of COMEX and into market. And that's what you're waiting for. So as soon as gold hits market, you're not going to see these $1,900 numbers. This is why I suggest to buy now while the price is cheap. That's what you want to do. And then obviously that's all you can do. You have to be smart to realize this is not the real price. This is price fixed for China and Russia to buy gold and silver. This is why it's low. It is not market forces. It is not supply and demand. There is nobody's selling gold. The demand for gold is huge. And the premiums are bullshit. The dealers are feeling, I don't know why the dealers put a premium on there. There's no reason. Because the base that their premium isn't real. So when they go, well, silver's 24, so I'm going to sell it to you for 32. That's not real. That's not 24 isn't a real price. So it's a bargain. It's 200 is a real price. So anything under 200, you're doing great. Once the market goes, you'll watch the premiums will go away and they'll just take whatever it's going for. Like when you get a shirt for $50, it's $50. There's no premium on it. So I don't understand the premiums because the number they're taking isn't real anyway. So there's no reason to do a premium. Either don't sell it or just sell it at spot, because that's, if you're dumb enough to think spot is real, then you don't know what you're doing. And I want to buy from you because I like buying from people that don't know what they're doing. I was on a show yesterday, and I was kind of going, I don't understand why the dealers are selling, are not just keeping all the inventory. Why are they selling it? And the guy says, well, we're selling it at a profit and then we buy it back. So let's see. So the ounce of silver that you bought for 20, you're spot at, and then you're telling me that you're then turning around and buying more. Okay, why would you sell it at 30? It's to keep it in the back. That wouldn't be my primary income, would not be selling the silver. It would be buying the silver and holding the silver, but not that. Otherwise, you don't know what you're talking about because you think that this is the real price of silver. That shows you how out of touch you are, that you don't know what you're doing. You're just trying to move your inventory and you got a good thing and you sell it for $8 more than in this phony spot price, and it's not real. So anyway, that's what's happening. And so I highly advise you to buy. You're buying a $200 ounce for $25, and you're buying at least a $30,000 ounce of gold for $1,900, $2,000. That's what's really happening. But because you don't see the you see the Jerry Rice card at 100,000, you think you could get it for 1,800. Do you think the Jerry Rice card has more value than an ounce of gold? No. The market dictates that there's 100 people wanting a PSA 10 Jerry Rice, and there's only 20 PSA 10 Jerry Rices out there. But because it's Jerry Rice, there's a lot of demand for his card, which pushes the price up. That's supply and demand economics. That is not what's going on in gold, because the supply is far lower than they're showing. So when JP Morgan sells all these things, they're showing that supply is higher. It isn't. So the demand, so the price drops because they're saying, oh, there's more supply. But there isn't more supply because they're not actually selling the gold. They're selling fake. They're not selling, let's say this is gold. They're not selling this. They're selling this. They're saying, oh, we're going to sell 1,000 of these. And people are stupid enough to buy paper thinking they own gold. They're out of their minds. The only way to buy gold and silver is to go to the store and buy the gold and get the gold and say, I got gold. Thank you. That's the only way you have it. Otherwise, forget it. You can't take the paper and go try to buy something. You can't go buy a Mercedes with the paper. Well, I own an ounce of gold. Well, let me see it. Well, I got paper. Paper's paper. That's not an ounce of gold. That's what you got to realize. So with that, I will leave you. Good luck on the baseball. Good luck with gold and silver. Now is a perfect time to buy. Let's get one last look at it. 1934. Oh, there we go. Down 16. Here it comes. Silver 24.22. Still down 40 cents. Silver tends not to move. Bitcoin down almost 900 at 36.5. Oh, it's such a great thing. Why is it down? Because it isn't an asset and it's not backed by anything. Therefore, I don't know how it gets any value. 36.5. I mean, tomorrow all the Russians sold their Bitcoin for gold. It would be down to 10,000. And you'd be like, oh my God, how's it down to 10? Because there's not an asset. There's nothing there. Now, I am not trying to belittle the Bitcoiners. All I'm trying to do is this Bitcoin euro. That a gold coin. So let's say this is a gold coin. There's a big difference between this and Bitcoin. I have this. I can give it to somebody. Let's just pretend it's a gold ounce. I can give it to you, and you got something worth $2,000, and you know it's gold. You got $2,000. Now, a lot of people in the U.S. don't understand this concept that gold's money and gold has a big value. They poo-poo me when I say, do you have gold? Well, I got money. Do you realize money's going to zero? Oh, no, the government will keep it up. How are they going to keep it up if they keep printing it to death? And this is the point they don't understand. The money, the government will not save you in this situation. And you've got to understand that, but you don't. And you're not educated. That's what I'm doing, educating you. And that's Why did the professor steal gold from the Royal Mint, from the Spain bank? Why did he do gold if it has no value? I mean, the professor's a smart guy. He wouldn't do that. That's my point. So gold is the way to go. The price, be careful, but dollars will go to zero, and this one will too. Keep that in mind. You will not, if you're holding dollars, you're going to be in trouble. You've got to buy assets. You cannot stay in dollars. Dollar value will not. Just look at gas is $4 a gallon. It's still a gallon of gas. It used to be 19 cents. It used to be $2. Now it's $4. Why? Because the value of the dollar has dropped. That's the point of everything on this exercise. The value of the dollar will drop. Assets hold the value, and that's the key to it. So once assets hold the value, then you're fine. So anyway, www.teaserking.com. Please email me with questions, comments, or anything you like, and I will certainly respond and then do a show on it. Again, I'm selling the baseball. I'm very cheap on it. $50 for the week, and you get all, I'll start zeroing in on, okay, let's play these 5 games. Right now, I'm just doing every game to walk through the concepts of the ERAs and the teams. As I get more value on the teams and more, this is a good hitting team. This is an A team. This is a Z team. This is an over team, an under team. I'll get more statistics on it. Right now, you got some cold weather making teams under that maybe aren't under, like Detroit, Chicago, Cleveland, New York, that are dealing with cold weather, which doesn't make them hit as much. So we'll keep an eye on that too. Anyway, that's what's happening. Good luck to you. I wish you safety, freedom, and try to be smart. If you don't understand what I'm saying, send me an email or ask me a question on here and say, Howard, I don't get it. What's in flow? What are you talking about? Why am I buying gold? Why am I not in Bitcoin? Why am I doing this and that? And we'll talk about it. I try to anticipate the question, and that's what I'm asking. That's what I'm saying to you now, but we can get into it a little more detail. So anyway, that's what's happening. Class is over for today. Your homework is just to relax and watch baseball games. Keep your eye on Newmont Mining stock and gold and silver prices. So go out and buy some silver at 24. It's a joke. And buy gold if you can. If you can't afford an ounce, buy a quarter ounce, buy a tenth of an ounce. Doesn't matter. Just buy some gold. You're going to be rewarded 20 times. So, all right, everybody, have a great day.